Today, we're going to be talking about peptides on the horizon, some of the new product lines from Olympia, and also some things that are coming up. My name is Annie. I'm a pharmacist and the clinical director here at Atrium 24, and I'll bring it over to the guys to introduce themselves.
Sure. How's it going? My name is Josh Fritzler. I'm our CFO. Been at Olympia for 5+ years now. We've done an insane amount of work to grow our volume, both clinics and then our partner pharmacies, which brings us here. Super excited to be here.
Love it. Hayden Goldman, Director of Commercial Sales, roll up under Josh. Atrium, we love y'all. Dotti members. I mean, the first pharmacy group that Josh and I onboarded, and it has been nothing but phenomenal things, I would say.
Yeah, and we really appreciate you guys as well. If you're on this call and you haven't worked with us or with Olympia, they are a wonderful group, especially these two. Get back to us immediately, keep us up to date. So everything we could want in a partnership. So we really appreciate you guys as well.
Awesome. Thanks.
Of course. So we're going to just do a quick overview today about peptides, specifically about BPC-157, about the legalities surrounding when and when it can't be compounded, your new product lines, which we reviewed, and then also how to really get these products moving through your pharmacy with the help of Atrium. So really, in the state of the world today, everyone is interested in peptides, even when they just hear the word, or sometimes they loop all of the wellness medications into one title of peptides, even when they aren't, like NAD. So just the idea of out there is gaining so much popularity, which is really steering patients to look for these types of medications. And also, obviously, providers with that as well when they're getting all of these questions from their patients. And then specifically, BPC-157, body protection compound, is probably one of the, if not the most asked about, and the compound that's probably the most exciting to patients and to pharmacies. So it is a synthetic peptide, and it's based off of a gastric juice. So it's really useful in healing, performance, GI healing, and also in musculoskeletal potential. So you'll see it probably most often in like ligament repair, tendon repairs, muscle recovery, things like that. You also see it in the GI healing and also great for anti-inflammatory. But we'll go a little bit on the next slide into more details, but with the current regulatory stance, it's not technically able to be compounded. But what I found really interesting and exciting talking to these guys here from Olympia is that you guys do have it in research and development. So I don't know if you want to talk first about, what can and can't be compounded based off of, the bulks list or the shortage list, and then also pop into why you do have BPC-157 in research and development at the moment.
Yeah, I'd be happy to jump in. So, BPC-157, we all know it's a question that our teams get all the time. Do we have BPC-157, so on and so forth. It's not a product that's seen on the FDA's bulks list today. It's not a product that's been approved by the FDA as of yet for any indications. Therefore, it's not going to find its way itself onto the shortage list. So the only way that I think, or only pathway we will have to actually begin producing it is if it does make its way onto the bulks list. Now, because it's such a sought after product, within the telemedicine space or pharmacies and practices alike, we decided to go ahead, purchase API, get it in research and development, and hopefully have a beyond use date that we can begin establishing through stability studies. So if this product were to get added to that bulks list, we'd be able to move quickly and have an already established beyond use date for that product. Josh, is there anything you want to add to that?
No, I mean, you hit the nail on the head, Hayden. We would love to be able to make it. We're getting a lot of traction with what we're hearing with some of our political groups and what's going on with the FDA. I mean, it's a lot of hearsay. However, we just want to be prepared because we know it's going to help so many patients. We get a lot of calls about it. We have a lot of people who ask us questions and the timeline when we can do it. So we don't really know. We anticipate there's going to be a point where this is going to be on the bulks list. So from the FDA perspective, they have to prove both effectiveness and safety. I think safety is pretty clear with a 503B manufacturing it. So now it's if this is an effective product to put on their bulks list. So we'll see. We are super, super excited for the opportunity if this does present itself because we know it's going to be really, really good for patients.
Yeah, that's very exciting. And with all the changes with politics going on right now, I think it does open up the availability to potentially move some of these peptides, which people have been really interested in. So
Right.
that's very exciting. We'll know who's going to have it ready for us when and if it becomes available. One peptide that you guys do have right now is Liraglutide. So that's kind of a new product for you guys. Obviously helping to replace the need for the semaglutide and tirzepatide
Right.
don't have. So if you want to speak a little bit on what you have available in terms of liraglutide.
Sure. Hey, and I can take this one.
Go ahead.
So we're excited to bring liraglutide for a few reasons. One, when the FDA deemed the other two GLPs, tirzepatide and sema, no longer in shortage, we saw an outcry of providers and patients that wanted a solution if they couldn't find the branded product. So we've done everything we can to push people towards the branded product when available, while still offering a compounded alternative. We've seen great results. It is a daily injection. That's the main difference from the other GLPs. However, the results are still very, very good when looking at percentage of weight loss to other injectables, non-sema and tirzepatide. These are two formulas. They're refrigerated in amber vials. Both of them are 6 mg per ml, so the continuity concentrations there, whether you're on a starter dose or a maintenance dose. And we have this in abundance, so this can all be outsourced directly to your pharmacies. If you have prescribers wanting to prescribe liraglutide as an alternative to any other GLP, it's still in shortage. Right now, I think Novo Nordisk has a few generic manufacturers making this product. We don't know what the runway is, but we do not see this having as much news outlets and as much spotlight on it to come off the shortage like the other two GLPs were. So it's an opportunity for us to continue to provide care for patients from the GLP weight loss perspective. So we are excited to offer this product for sure.
Yeah, and I'm sure we have a lot of pharmacies on today. I think we have a mix today, but in regards to pharmacy, something I always like to point out with liraglutide is maybe you were at some clinics who were injecting patients weekly for the sema or TERS, and they want to still be able to provide something. So they might want liraglutide now, and maybe
Right.
they didn't work with you in the past because they were injecting in office. So going and following up with those clinics, letting them know it's available, because most likely they want to get this direct to their patients since it is a daily injection. So it kind of gives you another avenue where it might open up a new space that you didn't even have with semaglutide, tirzepatide.
And if you are looking from a profitability standpoint, this is cash based. It allows you not have to be reimbursed for the other GLPs if you wanted to plug this to other providers to write scripts through to your pharmacy or to your clinic and different things like that. It is a really great alternative, very similar to sema and tirzep. The main difference is a little bit from an efficacious standpoint. It's not as effective, but still, if you compare it to any other weight loss injection, it's by far better.
I do have one thing to add with Lyra. So I would say at the tail end of the height of semaglutide and tirzepatide and, it being on the shortage list, what we were saying on our team was, the frequency of questions surrounding microdosing semaglutide and tirzepatide just
Sure.
reduce any side effects that a patient might be seeing, right? So people were already injecting upwards of, 3, 5, even daily with semaglutide and tirzepatide microdosing. So this is very much the same scenario, right? Now, the half-life of this product is less, right? That's why it calls for the daily injection. So if you have a patient that might be feeling those side effects, you could essentially stop the injections right then and there, and those, side effects should subside within 24 hours. But the main thing I wanted to really hit on was the microdosing becoming more popular towards that tail end of the shortage with sema and TERS. This is the same idea.
Yeah, that's a great point. I was about to say something along the same lines that, um, you know, sometimes a lot of providers who are really into longevity and really into wellness, know that very rapid weight loss is not the best. So even with the microdosing, even if they were doing it still, you know, just weekly at a very small dose to start,
Mhm.
definitely compare this to what people were going for with those efforts. Uh,
Hmm.
so yeah, I think a lot of people are still very interested in it. And then even switching from semaglutide or tirzepatide, it being that daily injection with a much shorter half-life, does make it so much easier to be able to adjust the patient based on if they need to go up or if they need to go down very quickly. So yeah, a lot of good benefits there. And then I think we have some other products from Olympia that aren't necessarily brand new, but you have some bundles here that also support the wellness and weight loss, kind of filling in for where people might be seeing the loss of that semaglutide and tirzepatide. So if you want to review those.
Okay, I'll take it. So we brought these to the forefront, I would say lipotropic, so that burn bundle, MICC, that product alone was a hot product of ours, prior to semaglutide and tirzepatide. So the main focus around both of these is ensuring any patients who lost weight, when they were on a GLP-1 regimen, we hopefully were working on lifestyle changes, diet, exercise while being on one of those GLP-1 regimens. So we brought these to the forefront to ensure patients are able to continue losing weight, maybe with the burn bundle and, the skinny set, hopefully, maintaining weight loss if they, were happy with where they were at, and just maintaining that, I would say, weight where they are at currently, and if not, continuing to lose weight. We've seen a ton of success with our amino blend, increasing blood flow, energy, and then methylcobalamin increasing metabolism as well. Same could be said with the MICC. It does have those lipotropics along with cyanocobalamin B12 and paired with L-carnitine. It is a phenomenal offering, no doubt. Josh, you want to hit on these?
Sure. Yeah, it was extremely important to us to kind of look outside GLP for weight loss. We were doing and manufacturing a lot of these lipotropics and self-administer vials in weight loss for a long, long time, or office use injection. We have all three of the B12s. People have different preferences, whether cyano, hydroxy, or methyl. And then our lipomino C has the carnitine inside of it, which is really, really popular, really, really good for weight loss, as well as maintaining muscle mass while you do lose fat. Mick, like Hayden mentioned, and then Sermorelin is really, really good for maintaining and growing muscle and just mass in general. It does continue to increase your metabolism as well as helping your blood flow. So these are a lot of products. There's a whole category of what we do for weight loss, metabolism, and vitamin injections. So a lot of people don't look beyond the GLPs for weight loss, and we do a really good job making sure we have a variety of products that can help your patients.
Yeah, Morlin is really great for, you know, patients who have even lost that weight, but maybe their body composition isn't exactly where they want it to be. So
Right.
help, you know, build that muscle while continuing to lose the fat, which is a really important one that we see.
Mhm. And I see a question from Justin Clark asking if the MIC we would do it with methyl instead of cyano. So methyl is not nearly as stable as cyanocobalamin. Methyl is refrigerated in an amber vial, and it doesn't mix well with other APIs. So for the MIC, for a B12 to be grouped in with methionine and acetylcholine, cyano was the one that tested the best, that kept potency the best. So that's the main reason. It's still a B12 vitamin. It's just kind of how the molecules work themselves out, essentially, is the main reason there's cyano in there. Hayden asked, have you seen more success marketing these weight loss products to prescribers or patients? I would say prescribers. A lot of these vials are made perfectly for office administration as well as direct to patient. We have a larger prescriber base. We work really, really well with clinics as well as pharmacies. So that's where we've seen a lot of success helping them market to patients. Very similar to the GLPs, though, what it did for us and just the industry is help patients get comfortable with self-administering any injections. So to be able to have alternatives to GLPs that they could self-administer 2, 3 times a week or so, we've seen a lot of success on both sides. I'm hoping that helps answer that question. Someone asked who's liable if any issues with this product or patient or harm. The product itself would be the manufacturer, us. So we do extensive stability and release testing before a product even leaves our facility to make sure it's sterile, potent, passes endotoxins, and container enclosure. There's a SKU of tests for every single batch once it's released. That question gets a little bit tricky because it depends how it was prescribed, how it was administered, how it was stored. But we'd be able to help any clinic or prescriber better understand the best ways to educate the patients.
I love the frequent flyers I'm seeing. I mean, I know a lot of these have accounts created with us, specifically Justin and Hayden, definitely know y'all. Love that.
Yes, thank you for always joining us. And I know you guys have had a lot of success with
Mhm.
these things. I do see a question about any independent pharmacy can order those from Olympia. And we will review it a little bit later on, but the answer is yes. For those of you who aren't familiar with the 503B to 503A process, it is really simple, honestly. We'll have a slide about how you can sign up through our GPO, which is going to give you an automatic discount for these products. But in general, you would have your account created. You decide what products you want to order. I really love Olympia's stance on no minimums. So let's say you're just getting started with this. You can order one vial at a time. So you're not really having to put up any money up front. It's all going to be that profit in the end. So you order it from Olympia. It generally comes next day, depending on the day or time that you order. And it comes with an NDC and everything. So you add it into your PMS and sell it pursuant to a prescription like you would any other product that you buy through a manufacturer. So
Right.
we'll go into more detail, but yes, and it's awesome and it's very easy. So we'll go through a review later on once Olympia is done with their products.
Love it. Love it. I'll tell you this one. I'm really excited about this. So we just recently sunset our lyophilized version of NAD. Rolled out a liquid vial. This has really allowed us to increase production tenfold. You'll see here the lyophilized product we were previously offering out of our B is a 500 mg vial. We've since doubled the amount of product seen in that vial. So with all of that said, being able to increase production capabilities, it has allowed us to slash that cost by almost half of what we were previously offering an AD for. I really want to hone in on, I would say, the importance of wellness, longevity, really in this second half of the year. It is going to take off. We are working with what I would say are some pretty big marketing giants, but larger telemedicine practices that we all know and love. But they are going to be putting these products in particular, and NAD in particular, in front of all of our patients. I would say through their advertising, TV, so on and so forth. So it is going to gain popularity. I believe patients are going to, be approaching pharmacies asking about NAD in particular, just because it is in front of their face, day to day. But nonetheless, NAD, it has been great for us. I mean, we had great success with the lyophilized product, but now that it's liquid, it really makes it a lot easier for patients to inject, not to worry about any sort of reconstitution, things of that nature. Josh, you want to add anything to that?
No, double the product for half the price at least. I'm not too familiar with the Atrium pricing, so I don't want to misquote, but it's a much better discount than the lyophilized version. It allows you not have to reconstitute it, like Hayden mentioned, so there's a lot less education needed for patients. Right now, Hayden, correct me if I'm wrong, is 90-day BUD on the shelf. We just made another batch that'll have 120 days. So once we get through that inventory, it'll have 120, probably starting next week from on the shelf's perspective. And we're going to push that BUD as long as we can. As soon as we get a new time point, we'll label it with the new BUD. But that's going to be forever growing. Make sure you check the portal for the specific day and month that that vial expires, and then always reach out to one of us if you're curious if a new lot's coming and when. But that BUD will continue to grow.
Correct. I think we're going to end up pushing it upwards of 180 days, if not longer.
Yeah, at minimum. Hoping we can convince our quality team to label the vial 250 or 360. We know it'll be stable long enough. There's just times where we just would rather not have a product on a shelf for that long. Just from a BD perspective, the vial's really just a 1 month injection based on the dosing chart. So there's not a whole need for a longer BUD other than inventory ease at that point.
And I pulled it up. So previously, Atrium clients were getting the lyophilized vial at $92.50. When we rolled out the liquid, we've now dropped that vial cost to $50 flat. So, I mean, that's a pretty good chunk of change you're saving.
Yes, so we definitely have a really great discount specifically. I think we got to Olympia before they started really marketing these to the pharmacies, and I said, these are my favorites. Give
Oh,
me
yeah.
a discount on these if we can't push the other ones further. So yes, even just joining Atrium for the discounts on your GPO products is definitely going to save you overall just in the cost of membership. But I even know some of my patients are even just so excited about the new NAD, not having to worry about reconstituting, and then even, you're able to drop that price for patients if you want as well. So
Mhm.
you're really able to compete at this price point with all of the major telemedicines that are out there selling it, which can be very important because, we know that we're getting a really good high quality 503B product from Olympia that we're
Yep.
selling, but that doesn't always translate to patients. But even now at this price point, you're able to compete with them no matter what, even if patients are only looking at the price.
Yep, exactly. With double the product in the vial, you can have double the amount of IV infusions for half the price. And you can scale up with your prescribers prescribing to patients and really let them get a product for a more affordable price. We take that super seriously. We're trying to lower our pricing for the lyophilized version, but we just had such limited scalability with production, making it lyophilized. So once we made it liquid in our massive filling lines, it was awesome for us to be able to drop that price.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's great. I don't think we have a slide on it, but I'll just do a little spoiler alert for people who don't know, but you're also making a aqueous version of the Sermorelin as well, correct?
That
We
we
are. So we're hoping an October release. It's in stability now. I think it has 60 days to this point, so we were probably going to wait for 90 or 120 to release the product. But that is our last lyophilized product right now is Sermorelin. We're super excited about a 9 mg liquid Sermorelin vial that should be out in October. Again, much less education needed for patients who are going to inject. They don't have to mix and reconstitute it. And that's another huge kicker for longevity along with NAD, where that's going to be probably one of the most talked about product lines from a telehealth perspective in the next 6 months or so, would be that MIC we mentioned, glutathione, the B vitamins, NAD, Sermorelin. We're seeing a lot of traction on those, which means prescribers should have an opportunity to really capitalize on these massive efforts of marketing that some of these giants are going to start doing.
Yeah. Here's you guys provide a dosing guide with Olympia, which is nice, and then we'll go through as well at Atrium 24 all the materials we provide. But if you want to review this dosing guide.
Yeah. For the clinics doing IVs, we have both different regimens depending on how long you want to do the infusion. For IM injections, if you only want to inject 3 times a week, it's 50 milligrams. So it'd be half an ml in your syringe each time. And then SubQ is where we're seeing the most traction on. So it's either 5 days a week or 7 days a week, either 30 or 50 units. We see the best results probably around day 5, essentially, if you're doing it 5 days a week. Have worked with big telehealth accounts on these regimens. This is the most common regimen that works extremely well with our vials. For SubQ, you get pretty close to exactly a month out of the vial. So if you wanted to prescribe a 3 month supply with 3 vials or 1 month at a time, it works really, really well. And this slide will be available. So if you have any dosing questions, reach out to us. You can always email askthepharmacist@olympiapharmacy.com. If you have any clinical questions, we have a full team of clinical pharmacists ready to answer anything.
And I know the Dotti team, they put together some really great, resources for patients and, providers alike when you're going around marketing these to the providers in your area. But this exact document is actually going to be found within our online ordering platform. We have a plethora of resources there as well to supplement, what you might be able to find on that Dotti platform.
Yep. There was a question, I think everyone can probably read it in the chat, but if NAD is a prescription, requires a prescription, the answer to that is yes. And we will also review in a little bit if you don't have a provider in your area who's really familiar with the wellness, how you can get this to your patients as well.
Yep. So direct to patient absolutely requires a patient label on that vial with the prescription. However, for office administration, if you're a clinic, you can order office use with no prescription. And if you're a pharmacy, you can order it to be inventory at your pharmacy without a prescription as well. But then again, it would leave your facility with the prescription.
Yep. For clarifying that. So Olympia has amazing products. You guys have an incredible catalog. Sometimes the problem for pharmacies then is how do you really implement these things into your pharmacy? How do you gain traction and how do you get it out the door? So at Atrium 24, we are at our heart a software company. And also gives you data analytics into, what you're selling, what you should be doing, what you should pull away from. With our CRM as well, you can track all of your marketing, you can track all of your interactions with your prescribers. So there's a lot of great things behind there, but one of our newer offerings is our GPO. So we are partnered with Olympia. So if you are an Atrium member, you get an automatic discount with them. And you do get generally up to a 30% discount on the biggest products for GLPs, up to 50%. So as I said a little bit earlier, ordering, through our GPO through Olympia can save you hundreds of dollars just on each order that you place. And then you can just start with that one vial at a time, which is awesome. So not a lot that you have to put up front. So you do have to be an Atrium member to be eligible for the discounts. There are sometimes tiered memberships tiered discounts depending on your membership. But the basic membership is just $99 a month, still at the discounted rate. So once you are within our platform, we have a GPO page there, and you would see Olympia's registration page. So you would start with registering. That allows them to make sure that you are a legitimate pharmacy. That process does not take long, and then you will be authorized access to Olympia's portal, which is super easy to use. Another thing I love about our partnership with Olympia. You just add it to your cart, check out, you get your order confirmation, and then, like I said, you normally get the drug the next day. So we also have resources that we talked about earlier as well. So we have a lot, we're probably closer to 40 specialties now that we have resources for. They generally each have patient information sheets, bag stuffers, sell sheets, order forms, and pricing guides. So for everything that we've partnered with Olympia on, all the products that they have, we have specific order forms for Olympia. So sometimes we'll have general ones where you could bounce between products if you needed to, but these ones are very specific to what Olympia has. So it will have the concentration of the vial, the sizes that are available, and the dosing that makes sense with it. So you and your prescribers don't have to figure it out. Of course, we always say this is a jumping off point. So if you have prescribers that like to prescribe in a different way, like to titrate differently, of course, they can always send in prescriptions as well. We have order forms that are brandable. So you can, when you download them, it'll automatically pull in your pharmacy's information and logo. Or if your state doesn't like that, we have ones that are just completely black and white. That can even just be used as a guide for providers if they don't know the dosing. So we do have Olympia-specific programs with all of the things above for their Liraglutide, NAD, Sermorelin, and glutathione. So once you get those products, you really are ready to just hit the ground running. We did talk a little bit about the CRM, but that's where you can track all those relationships with your providers and see what's going on. You can create tags. Let's say, some clinics that are specifically interested in NAD. You can task people on your team to follow up with them in a week, do a lunch, bring them the resources. So there's a lot of amazing opportunity within Dotti's software. So you can always reach out to us if you want to learn more about that. And then the last one that I'll cover as far as Atrium 24 benefits is we now also have a telemedicine option. So what this really helps is connect your patients to the therapy that they need. So just as we were asking, does it require a prescription? Yes. Maybe in your area, you don't have a lot of providers that are familiar with it, or you only have providers that are doing these things in-house. This really helps you to be able to actually target the specific therapies and promote them to your patients, knowing that you will be able to get them a prescription. Of course, if it's medically deemed okay through the providers. But it is really cool. And now when patients are looking for the NAD or whatever it is, you just have the complete package of how you can offer it to them. So it's been really useful. I know we've used it in our pharmacy for a while and really like it. The last thing actually that I'll review is just our conference. So we had our first conference in 2025, and it was really incredible. The pharmacy owners there, all innovative, all looking to what's next. All pharmacy owners like who are listening today, who are interested in how do we, move from just relying off of what PBMs are going to give us and decide what we can do clinically and how we can provide really good care to our patients. So we hope you can all attend. Maybe we'll see Olympia this coming year. We'll be close to you.
Yeah, I mean, we would love to set up a tour for you guys to see our Wesley Pharmaceuticals and our Olympia Pharmaceuticals as well. I'm hoping we can find some time in our schedule. I know there's plenty of time to kind of schedule, and Hayden and I can show up, and maybe you guys can come see us. That would be awesome.
I think this last question from Justin, I think, is for me. Do we have a Wellness RX form? We do want to create one, so there's not one up right now. We keep pumping out new programs every month. I think we've been doing 2 a month for the last few months. But yes, Justin, that's something that I definitely want to include, and we'll probably pull the most common ones. But I'll actually get in touch with you to see which ones, because I know you're doing a great job with it, which ones you're selling the most, and maybe make a couple of versions for people deciding on what they want to offer. And then to contact us, if you guys have any more questions, the best way is really through email at hello@atrium24.io, but you can also give us a call and follow us on social media. We do like to be on top of everything that's happening. So generally, you'll hear it from us if it's a big thing that's happening out in the pharmacy space. So follow along, and if you have any questions, definitely send in an email to us. See if we had any other questions come up. I don't think so.
I think we addressed them all, to be honest.
Yeah.
We're pretty quick on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to thank Atrium again for bringing us on here and hosting this webinar. It's always fun to kind of talk about our new products, how we work, how you can set up with us and partner with Olympia and Atrium, Dotti. So thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
We always appreciate it.
For sure.
Coming through just in time. Okay, wondering if there's going to be recording of today's presentation. Yes, we do always upload it into our platform, so it will be on Atrium's platform. However, you generally do need to either have a membership or be in a trial. So that is one thing about our trial period, which is nice if there are, because we have a lot of past webinars as well, like things if you want to learn about NAD specifically, about a little bit more clinical, how to market it to your providers, glutathione, Sermorelin. If you want to learn about Liraglutide, those are all on there. So all members can view them at any time in the Learn menu. But if you do just want to sign up for your free trial, which is 14 days, you can also view those things, which is a nice little perk as well. But you can email in and we can give you more information on how to do that as well. All right, yeah. So I think that's the last one.
All righty. Well, hey, thank you for having us today, Annie. It was a pleasure. Definitely looking forward to the next one.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Thank you.
Good. Bye.